So they can come in with a planning application whenever they want, and we still have a live planning application for the Williamson's Farm proposal, but they have to demonstrate at the moment that they are exceptional, or there's exceptional reasons because they're within the green belt. If we were to allocate them, we have a framework for what we would want to come forward on that site, and they would have to adhere with that framework when they were putting in an application, which at the moment they don't have. Because of the green belt site, they can put in whatever they want, and if they can demonstrate that it's exceptional circumstances have been met, then they can go ahead with that. And the thing is that even if we don't agree with those exceptional circumstances and we refuse it, it can come forward on appeal, and a planning inspector may do things differently. And the challenge we have within Thurrock now is that we have less than a year housing supply, which puts us in a very vulnerable position. Now, being a green belt borough gives us some protection, but I do question, and have questioned for a long time now, how much protection that would give us if you've got a developer that's got a good story behind them. Because we genuinely do not have enough land or even shown kind of the right amount of progress really in this area. Again, another reason why we want to try and keep this document and the momentum behind preparing this document going forward. So in addition to the homes, it's also looking at 2 new primary schools. We didn't project a secondary school as part of that development. The work that we've done with education colleagues at the time has suggested there was enough capacity when they looked at growth happening everywhere, that will be okay. But obviously we will continue to have conversations with them and continue to test infrastructure needs and proposals going forward, if it were to be included within the Reg 19 plan. There's additional land that's been safeguarded for a new transport interchange. So improved access arrangements around B1420 and High Road at Fobbing. We've looked at a range of different enhancements to kind of local green and blue infrastructure spaces. And what's worth noting is obviously we recognise that flooding is an issue across Stanford-le-Hope and Corringham, and you've got kind of surface water as well that's coming in off the ridge at Babbleton. So it's looking at how there are opportunities throughout this development to store and manage the flow of water better, because we have got such a bigger area that we're covering with it. Looking at improved pedestrian cycle connectivity between Fobbing and Corringham, and also as I mentioned before, the centre of Corringham is identified as an opportunity area. There's a little bit of additional land that's come in at London Gateway, that's not currently part of their outline. And we were also looking at changing the safeguarded land for oil refinery use to more general employment use. The reasonable alternative for Corringham was a slightly smaller proposal and very much mirrors the outline of Williamson's Farm, which is the current application I was talking about earlier. So that's 750 to 1,000 new homes. You'd still have the land that's safeguarded for an interchange, which reflects what the existing planning application says, and more minor enhancements around blue and green infrastructure. For Fobbing, the initial proposal for it to retain, to remain within the,
with the number of, on the initial proposal there are 3,200 new homes. There's nothing in there that's being put forward for the infrastructure of the area, as in doctors, dentists, police. There's nothing in that plan there that says we're going to go after that blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because this area cannot withstand that number of new properties. Just times the 3,000 times by 2. I think it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
The infrastructure is not in this area to support those number of extra people.
So again, the challenge was going in, and again, we recognise this in the report and in the document itself, that we didn't have all of the information we needed. And that's the truth, we don't. And we're still working on filling some of those gaps. But the issue around kind of the health provision was until we moved away from these bigger blocks to something a bit more kind of geographically specific, is that health couldn't engage with us in a meaningful way. So we're now in the process of a series of workshops with health colleagues, where we've given them shape files, so like we do like a GIS file, so they can take that away. They're mapping it against existing facilities, looking at capacity. But what we've included so far was based on very, very high level conversations with them. We now want to go that one step deeper, more detailed conversation, so we can work out which sites are going to make it into the Red 19 and which ones will ultimately be ruled out because they can't get that infrastructure alongside them, or there isn't the possibility of that.
What about police?
Police, I've just had an email back from the Commissioner. Again, he has expressed some concerns during the consultation period, so I have got a meeting with him booked in for 2 weeks' time.
Can you just explain how you work on the
Yeah, so the need to change basically means we were moving from one transport mode to another. So within the planning application, they talk about land for a railway station. So an interchange could be a railway station, or it could be something that's linked to mass rapid transit, or it could be a bus interchange, essentially, where you're moving from one bus to another, or you're respecting there. Did I miss anything material? No? Okay. So yeah, it's just basically where you're moving from one mode to the other. Okay?
You mentioned there that Corringham town centre should be used for future housing.
Yeah.
I really can't see where and why, because like, we've got 4 or 5 empty shops, all the buildings above it all being used, so does that look at maybe taking the path away and building on that?
No, so the opportunity area includes some of the sites along Springhouse as well. So there are some sites there that have kind of historically come forward as part of school sites, or have had kind of interest in planning.
We're talking about the area in between the shell club and the housing.
I think it actually.
And they scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Springhouse and the housing in there first.
Yeah, there are a few sites. I think the thing for us was it had come up in the sessions that we've done kind of over the summer, and we've noticed we've been increasing this around this fear or this issue around places not being safe and increased antisocial behaviour. And it had been noticed from when we've done some of our initial stuff around 2016 to more recently that had really increased around Corringham. And in trying to think about how you kind of deal with that, we had to kind of say, okay, well, you can't just drop everything down and start saying you've got to work with what you've got. But are there opportunities within that to introduce new uses that might help make the place feel a bit more observed at different times? Because a lot of the issues we were having was around kind of things saying around darker evenings. It kind of like everything closes down, and then there's a couple of kind of like takeaways, but it ultimately feels quite safe. And then the car park area behind feels quite unsafe, and gas and little cylinder things, and we have that express hearings and Stanford-le-Hope. So it's trying to look at is there a way forward with the opportunity areas? What we would want to do is to kind of develop a framework that basically means that anything that's coming forward in that area is trying to work to the same mission statement, essentially. So you've got a level of coordination, but we don't exactly know where the sites are. And we wouldn't say they're definitely windfall. We might get some windfall sites as well, but sites that we don't know, but then do come forward and
specifically the Springhouse site. We had, and I think we've done that, we had the developers of the developers agents giving us a talk on one thing or another. Well, if you know Corringham town centre at all, trying to get in there on any day of the week is a bit of a nightmare because of the traffic. All along by the shell clubs, always parked up, and on Saturdays, you might as well forget it. Now, the planning on building hundreds of flats on that ground. I just think Corringham town centre is going to become a blockage. You're not going to be able to get in and out. And, you know, it's just favourite. And I'd like to bring up, I think we've spoken on this before, and that is Fobbing. How did they get the planning permission for the Waterloo site up there when there's no buses, no doctors,
Yeah, I'm recording
no
it.
schools, and we're talking about it's got to be in cycling distance? That is nowhere near anywhere. How do they get this kind of planning permission to build it? Okay.
No, I'm upstairs. Can you hear me?
one of the things that have come up specifically with the, I suppose, with the younger families maybe, is that opportunity really to get away from using their cars all the time. So it's trying to think about ways that they can access some of the facilities within Corringham without having to, and there are already some connectivities there, just trying to see about how we could potentially improve them.
But that's where people are not the farmers, we have lots of problems with the farm down there. That's for sure. And that's the bicycles and motorbikes, causing problems quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, we'll continue to obviously have kind of discussions through this. I mean, we're trying to, it's a consultation, there will be no decision that has been made, but I think
You understand that most residents is not, the farm shop might like it because it's important.
no,
Most residents.
yeah, it wasn't at the farm shop, so we hosted an event at the farm shop and we spoke to about 60 different people, most of which were from Fobbing, and they cited issues obviously with the solar farms that were potentially planned. They mentioned around the issues at Lion Hill and Fobbing Road, the concerns around kind of that junction up there. And they mentioned as well about connectivity between Corringham and Fobbing and that opportunity to be able to kind of walk and cycle and not have to continually get in their car.
I don't think we can both be in the benefit for the benefit of the residents.
Okay, as we go through this, I mean, it's understanding local priorities. So, I mean, ultimately, we've heard from specific viewpoints. There are other viewpoints, and they all need to be balanced because different groups will feel differently about it. So we need to kind of look at all of that. And when
I think it's fine that most people who live in a village go to live in a village for a good reason, and they really don't want to just go and up to a town.
okay,
Peter, was you just going to repeat that question that
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is it still on the cards that we're going to build a station at Corringham here, the railway station?
so it's interchange for a reason. We don't know at the moment. I mean, Network Rail have been consulted at the same time. I'll be honest with you, I had a quick skim through the response that we received from Network Rail, and they just seem to be concerned with which crossings they would like to potentially close or remain open. So I'm going to have
Oh my God!
about specifically this point. But yeah, but their response is very environmental.
This interchange that they're supposed to be having, one of them saying it could be rail, the other one said it could be buses. None of them know. They're fucking pie in the sky. Can you hear us, guys? Pie in the sky, this is.
When we get a station,
Yeah. So this interchanging thing, and they might have a running bus in Corringham, wouldn't they? And then they're saying it could be a railway, a train now, buses.
Because there's been many a time we sort of there's been a thing that may be a development up that neck of the woods. That's been in the cards for quite some time, hasn't it? To be honest, and because of all what's going on with Stanford Station, we just don't know where we are.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been made aware of any proposals to shut Stanford. That's not come up in the conversations I've had with colleagues across the council. Obviously, the Williamson's farm application, which dates back to
Why is she talking, for Christ's sake? She don't know what she's talking about, does she? She does not know what she's talking about.
This is behind Gabriel Hall.
So yeah, one year stop.
Yeah.
So that's the one that reflects the kind of the alternative that we looked at.
But that's what I'm saying. That's been spoken about for quite.
Yeah, and that's still a live planning application at the moment that hasn't been determined. So it's still sat kind of like on the books.
With a station.
With land for a station.
Oh, bollocks.
Not a station, land for a station.
16 years now.
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately, when you look at that sort of the critical mass that's created there with just, I think it's their proposal 750 loans.
That's right.
Then there potentially isn't enough to kind of warrant a new station there. I suppose that the question that we wanted to pose to Network Rail was if you were looking at an increased amount of growth in this location, whether or not that would change their view or make them a bit more certain about one view or another. But we haven't, as far as from my skim read through their responses, they haven't really kind of commented on that. So I'm going to do a secondary chase it email just to get more of a clearer steer on it. And I think that's the thing, is we've only just finished the consultation a couple of weeks ago, so we're still working.
The only reason why they want to put a
And they
station
will
there is
need
because
to
what I said to them
hosting
about getting a station in Corringham.
Specific stakeholders again to make sure that we've got all those information gaps filled, so that we are making decisions on what's included within that next plan, that the final kind of plan, based on all the right information.
So I was the one who put forward about the trains, wasn't it?
We're talking to stakeholders more now, and like open up the case.
She's the one who had the panic attack. Rebel, she had the panic attack when I was there. Would you mind moving back a bit, please?
Plus other areas in the borough. Does this now indicate to keep Allsop Hospital open? As
Oh, here we go, Allsop Hospital now, look.
Absolutely promised. So we need, with that amount of people, Basildon, if we go to Basildon now, it can be an absolute nightmare in and out of there. So we need Allsop. Is there talks on keeping Allsop open under these plans for more and more dwellings and more doctors?
So it would be, I mean, as far as I'm aware, the NHS haven't changed necessarily, but they've got to work on something new, because the closure of Allsop Hospital was dependent on them being able to provide the hubs. They're no longer providing the hubs. So I think
You see the video I made with her?
What I'm trying to encourage them to do is not.
Wait, where's she got all het up? Could you mind stepping back, please?
They normally plan for, to think much more longer term. And as part of it, we've had two conversations, one during the consultation, one afterwards with health providers, and I've got more conversations to come. But acute provision and hospital provision was raised at pretty much every consultation that we had. We've had a lot of community responses about that. So it's something we're really keen to get the bottom of in terms of what is needed going forward. If Thurrock were to grow in this way, or different sort of quantums of growth as well, and if Basildon is also growing, and Redwood is also growing, and they're all feeding into the same kind of system.
If you go on my channel, you'll be able to watch this now, Dave.
And I would have thought that Allsop Hospital would have been, well, we can't close it now because of what's going to happen.
It is logical, but there's two things that they need to think about as well, because one of the things is around kind of the built fabric of existing facilities. So this doesn't just apply to kind of the hospitals, it also applies to kind of GPs. We've got a lot of GPs within Thurrock that aren't actually, those buildings weren't intended to be.
Bollocks, they're all leaving.
That's been converted. Some of them will not see the next 20, 30 years and still be functioning.
That was the idea that the hubs in the first place,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, but
especially around this area. we've got
All
so
the
many villages that are
GPs
being
at the moment all
outside.
retiring, they're that age. There is no new GPs coming into this area. I have not seen one new GP. All my GPs are in their 60s.
Surgeries in that, and then doctors working in that, and that was the original idea. One of the questions I always ask is what is the equation for population for a hospital? And someone, if you think we're 175,000 population in Borough at the moment, and much the same in Basildon, and we know there's going to be more homes. So what is the equation when they say, actually, you do need another hospital, or that hospital needs to be...
They're not interested.
Also, it needs to be refurbished and probably expanded.
No, they don't want to get rid of it.
Hospitals, but we asked the question when it came to our new places, because obviously I was talking about the new places, trying to make sure that you can access them.
We're talking about Allsop Hospital now. Yeah.
And the point that they've given us around GP facilities.
And they said, oh, we're trying to find new doctors to come in. Yeah, that's because all the doctors at the moment are all retiring, aren't they? They're too old. Yeah. It's up to take back.
But what I do know, and again, the point I've been reinforcing with the NHS, is that new hospitals, expansions of hospitals, take time to plan.
Yeah.
And if we are looking at greenbelt release and we are thinking about how the area is going to develop, we would really like to factor that into our planning. And I cited with them a number of examples that were given to us throughout the consultation period about people specifically around kind of maternity provision, having to go over the bridge, having to go to other because Basildon was full. And yes, they are looking at sort of a linked alignment. So Basildon Hospital works with South End Hospital, and they work with one in Chelmsford as well. And they each have their own specialisms, every hospital has a core provision, and that core provision is going to be kind of impacted by the growth that's suggested, not just in that, but in Babylon as well. So we are having those conversations. They are ongoing, and again, just to recognise the fact that it is about us working with other stakeholders. We are not the provider, so we're very much kind of having to work with the information that they've given us and trying to have that kind of really productive conversation around what we can deliver and what we can't deliver. But what I would say is when we get to the 19 plan, that will be supported by something called an infrastructure delivery plan. And that will have within it
You haven't got no infrastructure
that is required for a development to come forward, and also
and you'll get out of towners, outside planners. Hello, I come from Scotland and I know exactly what you're like.
Actually, when you're looking at things like hospital expansions or big new junctions, they're very expensive. So it might not be funded through the developer alone. There might be other alternative mechanisms that we need to look at. But ultimately, if we've got confidence that we can see that infrastructure come forward and we're releasing greenbelt land, that is not going to sit well with the sector. So we need to make sure that everything we're putting forward within our plan is capable of being delivered. And that's part of that evidence base for that. So that's, I think, the infrastructure conversation that we're having now over the next sort of 6 months is really key in terms of that site selection. And again, was one of the key factors that we had in terms of comments back from people was around that relationship between housing growth and infrastructure. But there was also some commentary as well at the events around kind of employment growth and road infrastructure and thinking about freight movement and how that's going to impact the network as well.
I just feel, Kirsty, that when government sort of puts it over that they, require you to have a local plan, I understand that, and we'll know that that is the best way to go, then that, should we say, it makes developers do it as it should be done, not them having a free run just to supply housing, but maybe go back to government and say, that's okay, you're going to put over and say we want 30,000 homes, but we really desperately have for hospitals, so fire it back at them for funds to come through and say, actually, yeah, you've got a good point there. So in other words, we fire it back to them. If you want that, we need this.
And I think that's kind of what the infrastructure delivery plan will do, because we'll have to then obviously approach different kind of funding streams to say that we've got this gap, is this gap capable of being filled. And ultimately, when we've gone out to consultation, previously in different places, they have different priorities and things. But health provision is something across the board. I think I've only ever spoken to one person who was happy with the level of provision. And I looked at them, exactly
Was he still the fit?
Exactly that. So no, that's like, probably true. The first person I have spoken to who said that. And so it is recognised as an issue across the borough. And I would say we're trying to engage in conversations with the NHS in its widest sense. So looking at sort of our PCN and chronic care networks, looking at the hospital provision, but the NHS is also responsible now for dentistry and for pharmacy. So incorporating that within the conversations, we're thinking about infrastructure going forward. And I've got how many I've got.
In the event it's sort of greenfield, usually probably the whole waste and you're thinking that will there be new compulsory
So we're not intending on compulsory purchases or anything. It would be very difficult given the financial situation that the council is in to be able to CPO particular sites unless there was a very, very good reason. The very, very good reasons tend to relate to regeneration-based things rather than kind of greenbelt schemes. Pretty much all of the land that's shown within this is being actively promoted by landowners, agents, developers, people who are house builders, for example. So we're not envisaging the need to CPO anything.
Just expanding
come back.
Just building what we were saying about the health side of it. I'll come back to the police side of it. We've obviously numbers of police officers allegedly, back to where they were in 2010. 2010, we had a police station. Can we demand that we have a police station that actually uses very Southampton this side of the one-to-one?
I mean, obviously, I've still got to have my conversation with the police commissioner, but I think it's highly unlikely that a police station would feature again as part of a Corringham opportunity area. I mean, I might be wrong. That might
Well,
be the
then
way
why are
that
you
they're looking at
bothering?
things going forwards. But that hasn't been the way that they've been approaching infrastructure. And if I think about kind of where I live now, we're very lucky. We've got a police station that open to the public because of London. And we've also got a police headquarters that are at the edge of our town. Again, you can't go in unless you've got an appointment or you fancy a bit frisky. No, I totally. I mean, I just want to say most people who I speak to know that I don't say that. So no,
Our issue is basically we actually designed after a long petition when I was councillor that they could have a base over it to work at the fire station, bearing in mind that the crime and fire commissioner is combined now.
Yeah.
And they had a trial one at Whitton that actually worked. So this was the second one to be once we put it forward. And they've never used it. And the idea is that we all know, and this is our issue in Borough, is that someone gets a puncture on that bridge, Borough comes to a halt. So if you want the police to come out here, most of the time the roads are blocked. It can take a long time. If they was based here on their shift, or based here, and come over here, two of them in a car, that's your base or your shift. And no one comes out and takes over, and their shift finished. We have got a police presence on hand, but it still seems to be that you don't want to use it. And when we speak to the police, then they come in and say, you know you can use them? And they go, no. And it's, so maybe when you talk to him, take that back to him. Because we get fed up for talking to him. No disrespect. Yeah. We've been there, we've done the petition, he promised it. That was the thing, he promised it. And he backtracked on a couple of things actually.
I can mention that. I mean, certainly one of the things that we would want to talk about would be given the fact that we have got all these land pressures within the borough, is thinking about how we can use what we've got the most kind of efficient way. So those opportunities to kind of share uses within buildings that can be, can be taken over by the police at certain points, can be used by healthcare professionals at other communities. So, I mean, definitely looking at kind of those sorts of things would be something that we would want to explore with them. But an actual proper police station, I would very much
we know there's not to be.
If you don't ask the question, you don't know the answer.
But our point is, firstly, is that if we can get as many people like yourselves talking to them as well, it's not coming, it's like we're moaning all the time that we're begging for police to be here. Yeah. Right, we're not, because like that lady said over there with the bikes, we've got that everywhere, all around it. Quad bikes, motorbikes, scooters, you name it, unruly behaviour in the town centre, and we've got no police. Yeah? You okay? You're okay, you're doing the time. And you're answering the questions as we go along, which is good. Tony?
What is going on? Tell you what people really want.
So at the moment, no decision has been made with regards to which sites are going to progress within that final plan. So we need to do this work around infrastructure planning to determine which sites then make it through this next stage, the next part of the bid basically. And as we do that, then we look at the phasing for those sites. So we're thinking about whether or not they've already got planning permission. Most of them don't. So that would mean you need at least 2 to 3 years before they start. You need to think about whether or not they need additional improvements to the infrastructure around it. That factors into maybe start date there. And then when you're looking at build outs, but for most sites, if we've got one house builder on it, we're going to get a maximum of around 50 units per year. So then you phase that out. So when we do all that mapping, it's called a housing trajectory. And then again, that sits within the Reg 19 plan, this next draft plan that we're producing. So you'll have the full infrastructure schedule, a list of all the final sites that we think are the right places for Philip to grow, and this trajectory, which will basically set out the number of homes we're expecting to come forward in each location over the next 15 years. Okay? In terms of that, it's just worth noting, in terms of the sites that are put forward within the initial proposal, if you were to take the highest number for each settlement, at the highest range point and the highest range point for these new places, you're at about 41,000 homes. We don't need anywhere near that. So that's again just indicating the fact that we've got choices and we've got options. So we've got plenty of opportunities still to sieve out sites to get to where we need to be numbers wise. Okay?
I have three people, Steve, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm conscious of the fact that
I know you're doing the best, but we have Councillor Cecil, you want to ask a question?
Where does this plan fit in with the current council waiting list? You've got many waiting list.
So obviously our housing needs for affordable housing are quite high. There's sort of in excess, really, if we were to look at the percentage of new homes being built, over 50% of them would need to be affordable housing for us to be able to meet our needs. That's not viable, unfortunately. So that means that basically we wouldn't be able to ask for that amount from new developers. What we have asked for, the sites that are in kind of greenbelt locations where the viability is better, to 35% affordable, and that's a blend of intermediate products, but also kind of your more traditional kind of social and affordable rent products, which would be accessed by people on our waiting list. In opportunity areas and more generally within the urban area itself, viability is a lot poorer. And that's because land values are so high for certain uses compared to resi, and employment uses outstrip residential in most areas across Thurrock. So we would only be looking at 10%. So actually building on these greenbelt sites gives us a lot more opportunity to help some of those people who are on our waiting list, because actually we can deliver more affordable homes through the improved viability. But still nowhere near enough as what we actually need to meet our needs.
I'm looking at time now. Kirsty, do you want to take, no, Councillor Dunn, do you want to take these two questions and then move on, or would you prefer?
Yeah.
Would you mind just holding back just a shade?
I do feel like we're going to get some over. We've already sort of strained it. So essentially, just with Fobbing, the plan continue for it to remain within the Greenbelt. So at the moment, it's washed over by the Greenbelt, and we have a policy that allows some limited opportunities to residential frontage policy. Our plan is for Fobbing to remain in that situation. We did suggest an alternative option, which would be potentially to look at the core of Fobbing and removing that away from the Greenbelt to allow for a bit more kind of limited development, I suppose, in the same way that we've got with Corringham and Fobbing on the Hill and Orset. But like I said, so there were two options that we were looking at there. There were sites that were put forward in Fobbing as potential development sites. We haven't chosen to allocate any particular, suggest that any sites should be allocated. But obviously there are representations that have come in from people who will be indicating that they would be easy to do that. So we'll continue to kind of look through those options. And then finally, there is a new place opportunity that was cited within the initial proposal document at Lower Langdon, which is south of Langdon Hill, and the other side of the A13 from Stanford-le-Hope and Corringham. And that is looking at 4,000 to 5,500 new homes, basically a self-sustaining community. It's not technically part of the initial proposals, but we wanted to get some views on it. So it's almost like an alternative, I suppose. In terms of consultation statistics, just wanted to run people through. So on our events, we had over 700 people attend our in-person events. The event in Corringham had about 300 people attend it. We couldn't mark everybody because there's just so many. But most of the people who attended these events were over 60 and white British. So we might be trying to do some more targeted consultation around some other key groups over the next few months. Again, just to try and understand different perspectives. In terms of the portal itself, we had 12,200 visits to the site. Just to put that in perspective, the design charter, which was live at the same time, same period, had 709 visits. So there was quite a lot of online traffic that we got through as part of that consultation period. But we only received 570 responses. Now, we can't say that everybody who didn't respond was in favour or not in favour, and that's part of the problem. But we can say that we've had a reasonably good online outreach in comparison to other things that we've done on our portal site. And what I would say is that 3,100, because again, when you're online, you do all the background stats, have been equally engaged. That means people have looked at videos, they've downloaded documents, they've looked at more than one survey, and again, a proportion of those, a high proportion of those, have chosen not to leave a comment. And we received about 330 emails. We're still getting in a couple of stragglers from different bodies, and about 218 of those were focused primarily on the Arena Essex Speedway site. So in terms of next steps for us, there are a lot of work that my team needs to be getting on with over the next 6 to 9 months. Policy development is a key part of that, so understanding those kind of main policy frameworks that would apply to anywhere in the borough and wherever they are. So that means sort of pulling together some thematic topic papers. We've had changes in national policy that we need to reflect. We need to update some of our technical evidence, and I've listed on the slides there a couple of key pieces that we're working on. We're also due to establish a local plan working group, which will be a cross-party, hopefully cross-locational group of elected members that will help shape this plan going forward over the next few months. We are entering into a period of pre-election, and the pre-election period is at the end of this month, so this group will not be meeting until May, but my team will be working on background information to get that ready for when the group is up and running. And then we'll be proposing policy options and defining and finalising those before they're put forward in the document. Site selection, which is probably the thing people are most interested in. We are hosting a new call for sites at the moment, just to make sure that we've captured all of the information, the right information about sites and got the boundaries right. We'll then be reviewing those boundaries, the latest evidence and the consultation comments that we've received, going back to some of our site promoters, asking for additional information around things, engaging with infrastructure providers and having those workshops around constraints and opportunities, doing a sustainability appraisal of them again, and then we'll also be entering into some statement of common ground. Now, this is a process that Greater Norwich had adopted to go into their consultation, which is basically where you get a developer or a site promoter to sit down with you and almost develop like a little contract. So it's very clear what they are in support of within your plan. So if a planning application comes in later and they change their tune, you have something that you can refer back to. And then obviously we'll be consulting on that through the publication back, that Red 19 version. And that consultation is scheduled in for hopefully either the end of this year or January next year at the latest. But obviously that is determined against full council approving that document, not just that document for consultation, but also endorsing it at the same time. And then the last point then is just to say there's a little time frame on the back. So once we've done the publication draft, hopefully at the back end of this year, submission will be early next year, and then there's the examination in public, and that takes roughly around 20 months. And there will be opportunities for people who have objected to the plan to speak at the hearing. People in support are not given that opportunity, it's only people who object. And there will be kind of, written statements, there will be opportunities to kind of speak throughout that. But what I would say is the next consultation is a very technical one. So I would really welcome the opportunity for my team to come back to forums ahead of that, make sure people understand how to comment to that consultation, because it's a bit more legislative in the way that it is. So this time round, I've been able to accept post-it notes that people have handed to me, or emails, or whatever. Next time round, it's a really, really set way we need to respond. Okay?
Yep.
And that was all my stuff.
Right, we had hands up. Who was first? I believe it's either Cabal or, you go and then yourself. And then we'll come back to Councillor Jones.
what was done to the section housing flats, and also what was provision there might be for the older people, so who might want to downsize or unload or whatever. Have you any ideas of that?
Yes,
You might want to tell developers of
yeah, so we can definitely do that. So through the overarching policies, there would be kind of like an indication around standard mix or a standard thing that we would like from all house builders. If there are specific locations where maybe we need to focus on something different, then we can amend the wording in those locations to reflect those local priorities. We are going to be updating our work on housing needs. So we did our last one was a South Essex housing needs study, which meant that in terms of specialist housing, we were quite constrained because they needed the same data for each of the authorities. We're asking them now to look more detailed at certain aspects. Older person's housing is one of the things that we flagged to them. Self-build housing is another. And we're also getting them to have a look at accommodation for kind of sharing as well. So thinking about kind of young adults that are struggling to be able to get onto the housing market. We've got a big issue in Thurrock around hidden homelessness and around sort of concealed households, is what we would call them, which is basically where you've got older adult children that are still living in the family home, unable to access normal market housing because they can't afford it, and also unable to qualify for social rent from housing register because they're earning a little bit too much. So they're like sort of trapped in this middle. So we are getting a piece of work to have a look at that as well, to give us an indication around it, and key worker housing is another priority area as well. So hopefully we'll have much more local insight. The consultation responses we've received as well have indicated where people have been a bit more, no, we don't agree with this, we need more of this. We can use that obviously then to help shape that and understand local priorities.
My question was all about land use. Some of the land that we have highlighted in the plan have been productive agricultural land. So what is SARS going forward? What is their plan for food security in the area? The people who live here now and all the people who are coming in, based on the fact that all food is being done.
So in terms of food growing, the agricultural land that we have, the vast majority of it is not deemed to be of the highest classification in planning terms. So it has some of it has been productive, but obviously we have to look at balance. So there is a need for food growing, and we completely appreciate that, but there is a need for other things as well. So what we would try to do is steer away from the land that have those higher classifications to land that is sort of less around those agricultural land classifications. But ultimately, we need to have really, really good reasons why we're saying no to things, and that's part of it. But it's about kind of layering all of those responses together. And like I mentioned before with the Reg 18 consultation, we've sort of indicated more land potentially than what we need. So there is really that opportunity to kind of start sieving things now based on other matters as well. It's just really important that when we get to examination, we can demonstrate to the inspector that we've looked at everything, given everything appropriate consideration, and we've ruled things out for really good reasons, so that when the house developers, the site promoters are opposite us, because they will obviously object if their site is included and they come load up and all the rest of it, they then can say, oh, well, we didn't look at this, and say, actually, we did. We had a consultation on it, these were the matters that were flagged, we did additional work on them, and deemed that actually they were slightly more suitable. So we included those and we got rid of them. Okay? So food growing is that, they have to balance against everything.
So does SARS have some sort of going forward, some sort of plan?
We don't have a food sustainability strategy that I'm aware of. It's not something that my plans, but I know that colleagues in public health have really kind of been enforcing projects looking at food growing opportunities, but maybe not on a farm scale, more thinking about community growing and that.
Yeah, go on, come back and then Councillor Brown. Well, you go on yourself. Yeah, come on. Then Councillor Brown.
I wondered how, because the these planners, actually living there in that, they sit down to see the sites that they're actually using, and they have on there.
Here.
See the massive impact it's going to have on lots of, we being one of them, if they're put on school in that area where they're going to feed on. The impact of
building, my fence is there, the field is there. The impact of having a construction site behind my house, there's no land in between, it's not putting anything in road. By looking at the plans that are proposed, I know, there is literally, they're going to dig out, and their builders and bulldozers all be behind our fence. We've all got those fences on our estate. Had they come down and said, actually, looking at the map of what they're going to do, it's no indication of the impact it has on the community that are already residing there. And
Great.
someone's going to come down and look at that. I haven't got anyone to my house. Say, look, this is what's going to happen. My husband's worked in construction for all his life, and he wants a bit of peace and quiet, and now we're going to build this tiny one. We won't go to sell that house now, we should do, because all this is in the arena, public arena. We won't ever sell that house, if we do, it's less money, what less money we have to work. So we are actually, us people living that on our farmland, our stuff. And I think they should come down and visit some people.
Yeah, agree.
That's why I think we're so cross about it, because we've got a map, we've got farmland, we've done, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but look at the things that are there already. It's hard to find. I'm not saying it because I live on it, because I know it's going to be like, there's a whole estate of us that ring fence is on this land.
No doubt,
It's going to be like, I'm just going to spread it. There's 10 roads, the City Road, the Sweetie Road, there's the other side of our farm, and there's a whole station. So you need to come down, you need to come down and see really the impact it's going to have on those that community that's always lived there. Lots of us have been there years. And they just have no idea. I'm looking at these whole houses. There's the field. There's field on that behind those houses. I'm surprised that things have been winter over the last 10, 12 years. In the state, the Red Light Dry Stream, the one at Stanford, and there's some sort of land between the actual houses, or there's a road there or something. We are going right onto our fences. We've degraded my house and the desirability of all the houses. Okay, so if someone needs to come down and see about the impact on us. Okay, so this probably is, I can start off with something that's probably going to aggravate me even better. But I walked all of those sites. So I have personally walked all of those sites. Because at the moment, the way that we work with resources is that we have different officers that lead in different areas looking at site assessments, and I've walked on them. So all of these sites here, I've walked on. What I would say is the layout configuration sites have not been determined at all yet. So I can't tell you, and it's highly unlikely if this is where I'm thinking it is, that you would have buildings right on to your fences, because obviously when you're looking at where the surface water is on different sites, those are the places at the moment where, yeah. So, in terms of where things go, no decisions are made on that. All we're trying to do is show a rough location of where growth might happen. There are
I bet she walked them in the summer, didn't walk them in the winter. She'd fall straight through.
We're trying to look at how we store water better, how we kind of embed new housing into the landscape. The challenge we have is that when places develop, and if you look at sort of, you go back to the really old maps of like Corringham, you have Corringham Village, Homestead Village, always, and then you've got post-war housing and it expanded, and then you've got fixed in filling and it expands again. And places change over time. And I do appreciate
Yeah, but water doesn't.
It's difficult when you're at the edge of a place, and that edge looks like it might change.
Water does not change. Water finds a
We
way.
need to think about kind of the wider situation. But what I would say is, as I say, none of this is set in stone yet.
Of course it
We'll
is.
get the regulation 19
Bollocks.
through, that gives an updated map. And there will be some sites that come out at that point. Okay? So it might be a case that some of the sites that are shown now are not sites that progress past this point, or not sites that we will be actively promoting. That's not.
Well, then why are they there then, mate? Third council wants bloody money, you know that.
But I can promise you that I have looked at, and the point around people living within the area, there are members of my team who do live within the area. I don't, I live where my husband lives. But there are people that do in my team who live here, are part of these communities, and have had to have some really difficult and challenging conversations. One member, not within my team, but adjacent to my team, lives in that area, for example. Okay?
Councillor Byrne, and that's one more point about what I was doing now.
The difference, will there be devices playing with or without the lower temperature?
So at the moment, down there, we've shown the board that. If the DCO isn't approved and there is no lower Thames crossing, what that might mean is there are opportunities in some places to potentially go bigger than what we've done before. I know certainly that in East Tilbury there will be landlords there that are quite happy to see their land moving forward again to Chadwell, or some sites there that are constrained. In terms of the transport modelling, it has a big impact, because when we're thinking long term, the effects of the lower Thames crossing would affect flows differently with or without, so we need to factor that into our business. But yeah, we don't know what we don't know, and ultimately we'll get a decision in the summer. On the lower Thames crossing is when the report's due, so we'll have to take a view at that point.
Go on, carry on, Councillor Byrne. You're
One of the money, 106 money. All the rules on 106 money changing the way it's distributed.
So, Section 106 agreement has to be founded on three legal texts. So for the most part, Section 106 is agreed at the time that a planning application comes in. We start drafting it, and once there's a decision made as to whether or not the application is we're minded to approve it, Section 106 gets finalised and that's factored into the decision. The things that go into that Section 106 at the moment are based upon the responses that we receive back to consultations on planning applications and projects that are listed within our infrastructure requirement list. Going forward, in a local planning context, so we've got an approved local plan, we would have that fully worked up infrastructure delivery plan. That forms part of it. So that would help with Section 106. But if we don't do Section 106 and we go with a different type of system, which is less limited, so a community infrastructure levy, or what's now proposed through the Levelling Up and Generation Act infrastructure levy, is basically funding that's a lot more flexible. So with Section 106, you can traditionally only spend it on capital projects. You can spend it a little bit on revenue for priming something, but it can't be indefinite. That's where we get the subsidies that can come out of Section 106. And they have to be proportionate, linked upon certain reasonable time. Anyway, just really, with TIL, or with an infrastructure levy, much more flexible in terms of how you can spend it. Both of those schemes suggest that a proportion of money is given to the locality. In parish areas, it goes to parish council. In unparished areas, it would be designated neighbourhood forums. But where I've worked previously, the council had made the decision that they would do it by wards, whether there was a forum there or not. Again, that would be a council decision whether or not that was going to progress it. And it basically works at many, you've got like a slide to benefit. So like 20% of the planning office money could go to the local community to spend however they deemed fit on infrastructure priorities. And that could be spent on revenue costs, so it could be spent on police policing, it could be spent on supporting kind of some early years provision, park rangers, and it can also be spent on kind of infrastructure specific things as well, like improving benches or whatever. But at the moment, the Section 106 will be off our new infrastructure delivery plan, that will be linked, and we're hopeful that we would get another approval system in our side.
Put another way then, if we get given money so it can be bigger,
it's a different one.
that's not helping it.
That's a different type of 106.
I'm just saying.
I think what the idea is.
Basically, it is a 106 agreement, but it isn't down that terminology is highways amenity fund. And basically that's the money that they used when you extended the slipway on the east section of the A13. So we keep an eye on that money. In respect, we used to have meetings with local council, we basically reinvented them now and put through forward proposals, because the idea is the business is started up, this is money is for unforeseen circumstances that may arise as that business travels along its path, and so it's money to be drawn on. So the council's holding that money and it's in an interest bearing account as well. So we go along and we sit down and we come up with ideas. Like at the moment we've got ideas of speed cameras and things like that, because it's mitigating circumstances for this but no, we find out that the terminology has been changed a little bit, and now council can actually grab that maybe for another area. We're not totally sure of the terminology of it, but it's kind of upsetting that actually this is the area that's got the impact of the DP world, and say not Abley or Ockenden, you know. So
I'm not, if it's not a formal section 106 agreement, I'm not informed of the legislative applicant actually.
Just to go on, yeah, just what I was saying as well. The LDO back from 2013 goes all the way through, and the latest one, 2024, is very specific to the ward that it's in and the area which it covers, which means it doesn't go outside of that area. That money and this is specific to those walls and the infrastructure within the area, which means as far as we're concerned, that money should not be used outside of this area. It's been like that since 2013.
I'm not aware of what the sort of the legislative background that be. In terms of section 106, which I'm thinking, there is a need sometimes for that to be fed beyond like the ward or the locality, because there are bits of infrastructure that serve that wider that wider area. You mentioned earlier about hospitals, for example. If we were getting funding for a hospital, we wouldn't just take it from Corringham because Corringham's close. The hospital serves the whole world, so everyone or every development will be kind of like feeding into those projects. But it very much should, from Section 06, be linked to mitigating the impact of a development. So, I mean, again, but sometimes that isn't always just within the locality sections, that can be a bit more.
Okay, that's it. Firstly, one small question before you go. With the cutbacks at council, do you think your department has got enough funding to do its role in which it's been set to?
We're undergoing a lot of change in planning at the moment. Most people will be aware of the fact that we have the house review that was completed, and that was essentially the start of a process. We have a new chief planning officer that will be starting with us hopefully, I think it's sometime in April they're due to begin, and then they'll be working through kind of structure charts and resourcing and all the rest of it to make sure that the planning service is appropriately resourced to be able to not just sort of manage that plan making process going forward, but also planning applications that are due to be determined and the monitoring of those planning applications, and hopefully additional resource around infrastructure planning as well.
Because we know that's been another area in which I don't think that councils work to do the planning.
I'm going bloody fast, I've got to put the plasters on tomorrow night.
But anyway, it's got to be a quick one, Councillor Spate, because this lady's gone on, it needs to go now.
I think it's really appropriate to say.
Hello, Adrian.
Yeah.
Are we still going?
She has shown courage, bravery, and honesty to turn up at multiple forward functions and has done the best she can to be open and transparent. I'm reading words down, it's written out, but it's really important to say it. We have some good people in Borough Council who are honest and open. Kirsty cannot say it, it's not in her remit, but I can say that she and that with her team have been put in an almost impossible situation.
Oh, is that Neil Spade?
And only a week and a half ago, the council should have probably had a little place to the person. Finally, using unallocated money, we know it's nonsense and improved with that. So it was incredibly difficult being officer when the traffic is regularly causing so I've been critical, as many people said, many others. But I would like to thank Kirsty personally and members of her team for doing the very best that they can.
Well, I reinforce that, Councillor Spade, because I've been to many meetings. So you've done a great job, Kirsty. Thank you very much for coming tonight. And we look forward to you coming back here, as you said,
Yeah, I think in the definitely in the lead up to the COVID-19 consultation, because it's really important that communities understand how, because it is so much more technical, how to respond in the right way to that consultation, and what happens next when it gets to examination public. And as you said, if we do any more focused events,
We've had Julian here tonight, as support, and it's had an easy night, but time was going on a little bit more. I would have had you over a little while, Julian, but really. So you don't have to stay, Kirsty. You're quite welcome to go. Appreciate you coming. Thank you. Oh, how dare they? I thought it's my aftershave. We do need to, do we shut?
As well as parodying other TV formats, it's also
Right,
okay.
we shall move on to Alex with his treasurer's report, which is the next thing on the agenda.
Full accounts and circulated reviews and I think we're in pretty good shape for like 600 plus, 50 plus from last year, so the accounts are in good shape.
We're in good shape. I must admit, yeah, things we've been quite fortunate with the money that's come forth from what we call the Deaky World and Thames Empire Park, which has basically kept us on a straight and level, isn't it? Anything else? Any questions?
Still hear us, guys.
Alex, in the Treasury Department. It's open there for members to see. Okay, we're going on to forum matters and committee reports. Committee membership, and we've got the AGM, which is going to be at the next meeting in April. And we've put out there that if anyone's interested in joining the committee, we'll gladly have you on board. There probably will be roles.
Oh, lovely, Swifty, thanks, mate.
We do
I've
need
turned that echo off.
To keep it going. Alex is going to be.
I think that might have been the problem.
As treasurer. Alex, I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Hang on. While you're there.
Forward, are you prepared just to? So what you're saying that you can't carry on for a little while. So.
Oh, I've got to do it. Damn it.
Being a bit mean, isn't he, Peter? He really is. A bit selfish, but there you go. No, he's done a fantastic job with Alex, and
American flag is almost.
Here he goes. He's off. He's always looking to hear about his holidays, man.
10 years ago.
Yeah. But anyway, we thank you, Alex.
It's asking me to sign in again. Can't even remember my password, so.
But as I said, please consider joining the committee. We do need members. And if you can let Penny know.
Yeah, it would be helpful from you in the next week.
Yeah.
When it comes to the next AGM, I'll make sure everyone's aware of who's standing for the
Yeah, do we also, Penny, there needs to have been a couple of meetings previous.
Yeah, must have attended to them
before you put yourself forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we're going to go on to our lottery now, which is our 50-50 draw, I believe, Brendan. Is that correct? Yeah, do we also already? Wow, that's not bad, is it?
Not me, it's like that way.
Right, we're going to go on to our lottery now.
There you go, done. There you go.
There you go.
Not me, it's like that way.
That's not bad. Anyway, thank you very much for all those that put pennies into that tonight. It all helps to keep the forum pennies in good order. So we're going to come on to item 9, which is councillors' report. Now, we've got 3 councillors in here tonight. They're quite welcome to let us know
done it.
if they've got anything on the agenda.
There you go.
Go on, you want to start with Councillor Burns?
I don't know why it asks to do that. Flipping OBS, you've got to sign in and sign in again, even though the chat's available.
Well, let
Stupid.
him go first then. Yeah? You come to the front. Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Councillor Spate.
Most people here will be well aware of what happened in the council chamber and Harold's excellent presentation to the full council and the agreement of all councillors that they would like to Michael Gove. I'm a little disappointed. At that meeting, it was agreed that Councillor Andrew Jeffries, the leader of the council, Councillor John Kent, and myself would get together and draw the text of the letter to Michael Gove. We did that, we had a meeting, it was a very constructive meeting. It would be unfair of me not to pay particular tribute to the new Assistant CEO of the council, Alex Powell, who showed a really good, well, he has got a fabulous knowledge of the way central government works, and particularly the local government ministry. So he contributed enormously. I am just somewhat disappointed that the letter has not yet been made public to the people who are, in particular, to the people who support this forum.
No,
which I'm going to read out to you, which was the singularly driving point for this, as was the other petition that was also submitted but was discarded. I'm pleased to say that we agreed at our meeting that both petitions would be submitted to Michael Gove. In the absence of any formal thing from the council, I'm going to read the full text of the letter that's gone to Michael Gove. We have not had a response yet. And I'm going to leave, well, I can email it to you. It's the format I've got is a PDF, so you may have to retype it, but I'll try and do it. But I'll leave you this hard copy anyway, and then try and get it worked. So, notwithstanding, you are the first to hear the text of this document that was sent on the 26th of February to the Right Honourable Michael Gove MP, the Secretary of State for Levelling Up Housing and Communities. Dear Secretary of State, the Council at its meeting on the 31st of January 2004 debated community representation of 1,500 petitioners petitioning to initiate a public inquiry into the financial failings of the council that led to government intervention in September 2022. Members of the council share the concerns of our residents in that there has been a lack of transparency and a lack of accountability in the actions that led to the financial failure of the council. Members acknowledge the strength of feeling of our residents and accept these financial failings have led to a breakdown of trust and confidence in the council. And of course, local taxpayers can bear the burden of this failure through increased local council tax and fees and charges alongside reduced services. Thurrock Council is on a journey of improvement, and we continue to make changes to how the council operates, and we are committed to learning from errors of the past. We are seeking to regain our residents' trust and confidence through systematic change in how we operate and serve our residents and businesses. Thurrock Council welcomed and accepted the findings of the best value inspection in 2023, and we continue to work with the Financial Reporting Council and insolvency practitioners and wider enforcement partners about the sufficiency for a potential criminal investigation. However, we must listen, support and respond to the strength of our community, and in particular, our residents of Corringham, Fobbing and Homestead Forum, who coordinated the community representation. As such, members voted unanimously to ask the government to initiate a public inquiry into the failings of Thurrock Council. We write on behalf of all 49 elected members of the council in support of our community to seek your support and to recognise the strength of feeling on this matter and the desire of all to bring all matters to the fore and make them public. A public inquiry into Thurrock's financial failings would not only seek to provide assurance that all matters have been made public, but enable lessons to be learned and assist local government on a wide scale as we see more councils fall into intervention.
Agree.
The 1,500 signatures in this petition alone do not emphasise the extent of the public's interest into a public inquiry. An earlier petition and previous high-profile media interests, such as the BBC Panorama documentary, highlight a broader public interest and concern that necessitate comprehensive scrutiny and resolution. The national interest in Thurrock and other councils that have suffered similar failures of governance and financial management suggests that there may be a broader systemic problem which a public inquiry could usefully consider and make recommendations for system-wide improvement. By doing so, we can get to the truth of what happened within the council that led to its failings. The communities we serve, whether they be at a local or national level, deserve a system that they can have confidence in to ensure public money is spent wisely and that public service are well managed.
Right.
We would be grateful for your urgent consideration of this matter. Councillor Jeffries, Leader of the Council, Councillor Kent, Leader of the Labour Group, Neil Spade, the Independents. That was the message that was sent to Michael Gove. As I say, we await a response from Michael Gove. An interesting development in the last 48 hours has been the announcement by Thurrock Council that it has now formally lodged papers with the High Court to pursue damages and whatever against Liam Kavanagh, who was the principal entrepreneur who led to the council's downfall. The good news is that has now been lodged in the form. I dread to think how much this costs. It will be in 7 figures. It will take, I'm not trying to draw a wool over anyone, this, if the High Court, the way it works, is probably going to take anywhere in the region of 1 to 3 years to resolve itself. But the council has now formulated and produced a formal application to the High Court itself to hold Mr. Kavanagh to account. My one fear is that this letter calling for action from the government may have a problem in that there are now legal proceedings ongoing. And the cynic in me wonders whether or not the two are alike. I hope and pray not. And I hope that the investigation will continue on both fronts, but the government does grant this request, led by yourselves, to your immense credit, for a full independent public inquiry, and then in due course, a High Court action will hold Mr. Kavanagh, who's ensconced in Dubai. You know, he may well feel he's protected, but we may well be able to go after him and his assets, which are considerable, and get them back as well. But I think all that has happened to a large degree because of the efforts of the board and other friends in this room who've done such a great job. This is the letter that's gone. I'm embarrassed to say that it should have been made public before, but it's now made public this evening. I will leave this in the care of the Secretary, and I hope that as soon as we get a response from Mr. Gove, it will be relayed on.
They probably made it public because they knew our meeting was tonight.
I don't know for what.
Neil, just a quick question before you dive off.
I'm going to dive off.
I know you're going to sit back. You can sit down here now. The High Court thing for Kavanagh, just Kavanagh?
I can't look.
Was it? Didn't they consider, for instance,
I am limited to what and I'm not trying to be obtuse or divided. The 3 leaders of the 3 groups within the council were informed on Friday that this had happened. There is a substantive.
they was informed.
other information that we have been made privy to, which we have shared with our respective councils. However, that must remain a confidential matter because it could jeopardise any legal action. I apologise. I love openness, honesty and transparency, but there are, you've been a councillor, you know that sometimes information is shared, but it cannot be put in the public domain for the simple reason that in the public domain, it will become available to the opposition, for want of a better phrase. The opposition in this instance being the people that perpetrated all the things that happened against them. So I could tell you everything, but that would be really stupid.
I just
well, I am stupid. I'm not that stupid.
I just wondered why other people weren't mentioned.
No, it is. This is an action purely against Liam Cabinet and his company.
Hang on, Peter, did you have a question for us?
I saw the article yesterday and it's straight away I thought something is the legal side now Amber's in the bottom.
I don't know, Peter, because these things are incredibly complex.
Yeah.
It is. I'm a cynic at heart, and one says but it would take an awful lot of things to happen within the council for them to come to the conclusion that they would take that up. I'm going to say here and now, I am beginning very slowly to have some elements of faith in the senior members of the new senior leadership team. And tomorrow, today I had a meeting with Gavin, who is the commissioner of the council. Had a very frank and full discussion with him, going to what we discussed, but I came away with more faith than I had before I went into the meeting. In the morning, we have a new Section 151 officer, a monitoring officer, a guy called Daniel Penny, who's come to us from Liverpool, where there's been all sorts of extraordinary problems, and he's gone through that.
Hey, I'll Swifty from your area.
I sat in on his appointment panel. I listened to why he wanted to come to Borough. I thought he gave exceptional reasons why he wanted to come to Borough, and I believe he will do a good job. I would be really unfair to him if I breached the confidence tonight. We have to give.
Big up Liverpool.
In the past, I've had criticism of experience teaches you learn things. Not everybody within the hierarchy of the Borough Council is a pillar, and I'll use that word. Not everybody. There are some in there. There are some people who I wouldn't give any time to whatsoever. But there is, and I genuinely believe this, there is a willingness for change. Gary and myself, John, we've all been incredibly frustrated over the last 10 months with some things that have gone on. Gary and myself are particularly frustrated with some things that are still ongoing. And I don't want to say any more of that. However, I will always be honest and truthful with you. I think there is a window open. I'm not going to use the shade and sunshine fixing the roof and all that stuff. But I genuinely believe there is a willingness among the senior leadership team not only to acknowledge that we've all been shackled as residents and that we've been badly treated, maliciously treated, willfully misinformed.
Agree.
They are now actively saying that, and they're saying we want to put it right.
Yeah.
Not all of them have gone through this over a period
It's their
of
attitude.
3 years. But if we don't have faith in these new people, then we stop them before we start. You cannot prejudge them before they do their action. So
I'll just build on that. I think you might have read it. I put on there. It's like shutting the gate when the horse is bolted.
Yeah.
This could have been done.
Peter, let me just say.
Neil, I've got some other people
Right.
that want to ask questions, and so
Of me or
no, they want to ask questions to you. Yeah. Go on.
okay.
Right, what we said about the legal, but you think it's going to be pulled under the auspices of subdued?
No, if it goes to the High Court, and to get to where we are today, we will have spent an awful lot of money. This is something that will have happened over a period of many months. I mean, I've been involved personally in issues that have gone to the High Court. I've been in those High Court rooms and involved in some of the high-profile cases.
He's alright, he is though, Rebel.
Google Easter and Benny Bennett.
He's good. good. I like Councillor Spate. He's good. He was talking to me the other day.
Incredibly.
He wants me to be a councillor with him, and I said, nah.
But if we don't
He's bloody good. He's better than, what's his name? What's his name? Shane. Shane Ralph. He's independent.
It will be a number of years, possibly 2 years, possibly 3 years before we get out. It will be incredibly complex. There will be legal battles. What happens within the High Court system is evidence is given in front of a learned judge. The
Have to
learned
leave it
judge
for a
takes
minute.
it on board and then writes Tracy or whatever. They become public documents. At the end of it, there is an outcome. So you will be able to read an awful lot of information about what's going on. And lawyers, author accounts,
Up his own arse. He drinks a lot, doesn't he?
And give the account. I am fairly sure that Mr. Cabinet will have a very good legal team acting on his behalf who will rebut some of those allegations. It will go on and on and on. But all of these things will be discussed in an open court. And there will be reporters there to bring it back to you. So, you know, nothing is going to happen in the short term. But it is good to see, and we've all been asking for it to go after the Cabinet, and there are other companies that needs to be going after in due course as well. None of this comes cheap. And listen, Thurrock Council has a decision to make. Do we go legal or we do not? Now, some people who are far cleverer than I am would have sat around the table, they would have taken the best possible and very expensive legal advice. And they have been given the green light to go to court and launch these. Now, they would not do that unless they thought there was a realistic chance of achieving something. Because if they lose, we're going to be massively even further out of pocket. So we will criticise them for gambling in the past. And to an element, you could say there's a gamble. We've all said, all of us, we want to see this brought before a judge. It is now before a judge. So we have to hope in the good faith of British justice that things work out. It is going to be a long time. Some of us in this room will probably not be here when it's decided. But it is a step in the right direction.
But just coming in on that one, we've had some money back from these assets.
Yeah.
We've had 500 million back.
Yeah.
So
No, we have. No, they're not.
And that's gone to government, though, isn't it?
No.
That's come back to us.
No,
So
it goes, no, right, just to explain.
Yeah.
We had a huge debt problem in that we were due to buy back, we were due to be given a load of money from the Cabinet and other people and in particular, refer specifically to Toucan Holdings.
Yeah.
We were due to be given, we bought bonds in that company, we were due to be given back an awful lot of money. To buy those bonds, we had borrowed money from other councils. That's the nub cause of all this problem. So we get to a situation where Toucan Holdings cannot pay back what Thurrock Council is due to get. All these other councils
Alright,
are
Jesus.
expecting a payment back of the money that we borrowed from them to buy from Toucan. The government decided, quite fairly, it would be absolutely unfair for Cambridge, Cornwall, councils all over the country and pension funds, which are really important. You wouldn't, all of us have got, well, most of us in the group probably got pension funds. We don't want to see those pension funds. So the government gave Thurrock Council the money to pay those other councils, those other public funding bodies back. So we now owe the government a huge amount of money. Now, we got 500 million, round, I think it's about 510 million pounds is the net value of Toucan. So we get the whole
Councillor Spate's on. Councillor Spate. Yeah.
Some legal fees took a chunk. We were left with 510 million, £500 million, which probably hasn't arrived yet, but it's going to come to Thurrock. But it won't stay very long.
Got about a 20-second delay on this.
What it will do is it will go to the government, who will chalk it off.
Rebels in. Yeah, he said hello to you earlier.
Huge around about £860 million that we owe the government, and we paid interest on that. So that 510 million that we just got back, we will no longer be paying interest on because we've given them back. So there's no great wallowing in huge amounts of cash coming into Thurrock. all we've done is cut our debt mountain, but by doing that, we've cut our interest levels that we owe the government. If we win this case in 2 to 3 years' time, not only will we probably get legal costs, but we'll also get an order. And whether Liam Cameron will ever cop up to do this, or his company is not, but assuming he does, we could suddenly find ourselves 3 or 4 years down the road, will we become very quickly cash rich on the back of this. You know, I mean, that is an incredibly optimistic situation, but it could happen. So what I'm saying, you know, these are incredibly. Nothing changes.
I thought you'd have been down the pub with him, with Neil Spate, Rebel.
The year after, which will be, 25, 26, are going to be incredibly different.
I used to go drinking with Councillor Piccolo as well. Do you remember him? Saw him the other day. He still lives in Victoria Road.
Through our children and our grandchildren is slowly being we today. I've been incredibly.
He's telling the truth. It is all our money is going. Yeah.
That's all that we are. But it's a step in the right direction. Not a panacea. It's not a solution. It's a step in the right direction.
Peter, do you want to come back?
I just said, I thought it would have been done a long time ago. Can they not freeze his assets? It's all right.
It is Dubai. There's no extradition treaty with Dubai. His companies are. But listen, better, brilliant brains have said, have a go. It's a damn good gamble. They wouldn't have said that, Peter, if they didn't think their assets that he's got. He must have. I mean, he was in the Isle of Man. He's in Dubai. He's got money in bloody offshore islands and
Switzerland.
whatever. But at the end of the day, he's still got wedges of money. And sooner or later, somebody who's a really good lawyer thinks we can get our hands on some of his money. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it.
Sort of begs the question, why the others that he's should.
Well, they may well do.
They may come on board.
There are so many. Look, you know me. I'm pretty forthright, and I'm ready to be on the front foot, down and criticise and whatever. I'm sorry, I'm speaking on behalf of the council as well, but I genuinely believe we're making slight progress, and some of that slight progress is down to Cabot and yourselves and the effort that you've done that's shown the disquiet. I'm not trying to blow sugar up your backside. I just think the government has finally got the message. The new SLT team that's come in has finally got the message that Thurrock has had enough of being kicked and pillar to post, and we're fighting back. And it would have been very easy. This is a brave decision to go to the High Court.
Yeah, fighting back though, for what reasons? They don't tell you the reasons they're fighting back. They still think it's for one person. It's more than that.
I'm pretty sure.
It's a bloody tip of the iceberg, mate. Tip of the iceberg.
Go after Liam Cameron.
Say tip of the iceberg again.
If we end up losing, it's a roll of the dice. But it's a roll of the dice. Well, and then get it. I promise you that there are other legal actions against just loans. There are other companies that are out there that owe us a lot of money.
Bollocks.
I promise you.
You're not interested.
And I do not break my promise. I promise you, the council is looking at how it can go after them as well. Look, it's taken a long time.
Too scared though, aren't you? That's why you're not saying anything.
My predecessor was council in Stanford-le-Hope, talking about the sunshine the other day. But it is different. And I don't want to even get involved in politics. We've got a bloody election, mate, and that'll go whichever way.
I'm not saying. I'm sorry.
The people that are there now.
Sounds like I'm sort of talking normally. I'll turn it down a bit.
He's come out of the high echelons of the local government office. Dan Fennick has come out. Even Dave Smith. I mean, the good thing is we now, my little group or our little group is getting treated.
Got Dave's music in the background. Apologise.
He's getting treated seriously. I know. I went in today with Gavin Jones, who's the lead commissioner. I was followed in by John Kemp. We both had long sessions asking questions. Some of which we can share, some of which we can't. You understand that. Listen, it's still a mess. It's still a pain in the arse. We've still been shafted from the height. But that tiny little bit of sunshine that Shane had spoke about is just slightly starting to peak over the hill. But we've got a long way.
Different bit of sunshine down on my head. He's bit, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Liam. Thank you. Do you want to add to that, Councillor Burns? and then make councillor accessible if he needs to.
5 years now, only the last few months that I've elected the local they've been in offices, and they are giving me a lot of help, so everything I ask for, and I've never worked. It is changing, and it is happening. The other thing, as a council, I put this to people, last week, I know you asked me to ask a question about my 6 months, which I did, and I all ganged up on me after the meeting and said, I shouldn't be on planning because I'm too pro SF17, and I don't care about the rest. And honest, I don't care whether Brave gets money, all I want is from this side. I mean, he's not, should I be worried about Brave, or should I be worried? And I don't. To be honest, I don't work about his SF17. Is that right? Was that right?
It's your ward, it's your ward in which you're a councillor for, and as we said many a time, we feel neglected this side of the 1-to-1, and it has been, yeah.
You've heard someone claim the Heineken as a single opportunity with fewer reports, whether Stevie Wonder, Larry Adler,
One of the people, I mean, I openly would say, SF17, this side of the 1-to-1, I care about the other side. I think that and I think that's right. It was a choice of money for SF17 or Brave. So, yeah, so I'm just hopefully.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's very sad that we have to look after ourselves with the others. And those that look after us, we don't get ourselves out. Yeah,
No, quite right, quite right. Thank you, councillor Byrne. Councillor Cecil, do you want to add anything to councillor's report or what's gone on?
Councillor Byrne's opinion is not mine. I'm a direction.
Another song which shows the performance, though that's in the lyrics. He is imitating Bill.
Look at that beer belly. Talk about my beer belly.
What's interesting about Annalisa though?
I get a lot of
That's Councillor Spate at the camera.
a lot of questions coming from residents.
Hello, Councillor Spate.
Housing. A lot of very important people.
Oh, that John, the other
Living
yeah, he's our councillor. He is. That's John. He's going to Australia soon now.
I look after this. But people
That's a pure
who have
Perkins solo.
two teenagers, a girl and a boy, sharing bedrooms.
He's a Labour councillor.
From the soul and girl group influences.
They're trying hard to look
Was on their first album,
tackle
Words, Country and Rockabye.
and be real.
They would still cover Larry Williams.
You can't hide a chat with him on the doorstep. And nearly every single word he was saying was Australia. We don't do this in Australia and all that. And I'm thinking, where are you going on holiday? Australia. And then after this, he's going to Australia. So, where's his loyalties? Australia.
The consensus among commentators, which for once I agree, seems to be that this
Yeah, Labour councillor he is. Yeah, we voted him in. I didn't vote for him. But I had a good little chat with him on the doorstep, and I said to him, you know, all the things that are going on. He said, yeah. He said, Lise, you know, why don't you come and join us? Because he said, because all this voting system stuff doesn't happen in Australia. And I'm going, why do you keep talking about Australia? Oh yeah, I went to Australia last year. He says to me, yeah, okay. I said that's where my family is, and I said, okay, fine. I said, what are you doing about this area? Carries on. And then about a couple of weeks later, he says to me, oh, I'm moving to Australia. Eh? Oh, you know, but you know. Yeah. Don't worry, he'll be talking in Australia soon. I even told what's his name, Shane, about this. Yeah.
And the money has gone in the last 3 months to the police. They've started to make quite a lot of effort. Walk around as much as
need to sort their mics out so you can hear them.
So there is a lot of work being done, but as parents and grandparents, we have to take that responsibility ourselves. To make sure we know what our children are doing. Or, they're not the children, be prepared to inform the police of incidents that you have evidence of. Us against them, and they're winning. What are we going to do about that?
I've got a question for you.
Something else.
Yeah, subtitles could have worked, yeah. But they've got to get someone to do it, haven't they?
And we went through the budget with the last. We didn't get detail. That's normal detail. The detail that was given is kept from the cabinet, kept by the leaders, telling you how to stop it.
Maybe we should ask if all the councillors could be at the front, or come to the front. Come to the front when they talk, yeah.
Right at the end, and threw a big spanner in the works, and pulled £850,000, which is called a lot. I want to tell you how the Labour group works and
We got the, we can't say what we
Here we go, Labour. Labour did this today, Labour did that today.
because there were so many ifs and buts. That was about 2 or 3 years.
Don't worry, I'm off to Australia soon.
Everything's a change. So I mean, we understand. We also explained on the
Can you move on, John, please?
on the capital.
See? They're not interested in you, John.
Nobody has looked at capital, and there were some areas of that which were just high in the sky. And we saved the money by adopting the stopping of some of the
Cancelling the capital projects, yeah.
So we've had to continue to be very observant, very diligent.
poor Neil Spade, look at him.
Hold the budget overall.
Independent.
It caused quite a kerfuffle, actually.
Kerfuffle? A kerfuffle? Poor Neil, look at him, look at the camera.
And so their answer was
He's fallen asleep.
Someone, John, people got their hands up. They've got their hands up.
Can I go to the toilet, please?
I've actually did say we're non-political, and I did say that before John read the bits off. So if we
Can I go to the toilet, please?
Can we
Yeah,
talk about
I'm
this?
saying planning, as I was going to get in trouble for backing SS17. Thursday's meeting, I've gone, I said I'm predetermined because I care about the shots and stuff, and I'm actually going to speak. I have to drop out both meetings, one about Corringham, one about Stanford, I'm going to speak about antisocial behaviour and planning. Again, if that's wrong, that's all that rest of the part, but I am actually...
The town centre needs a bit of love. It's been going downhill for years. Neglect. So by all means, yeah.
Why that way, I will not be allowed to vote, so I can actually scuff themselves. I'm actually stand up on behalf of the shop people, because they're asking.
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Ben. Did you want to... John?
Just building on what John Sesson said, on the 27th of February in the library, there was a let's talk to police meeting.
Mm.
One of the traders in the town centre was talking to them prior to that about the antisocial behaviour. I said to them, go on and see your brand, ex-officer. I was at that meeting. They came along and put their case directly over to your brand about the antisocial behaviour in the town centre.
Yeah, that's one of the key things in it on their
Previous to that, John, we had a meeting
advertising for
with
the Conservatives is the
Tilbury to
antisocial behaviour.
all these issues are brought up all the time. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you, councillors. Any other business, John? You want to bring up something now? Tell them what you do.
Right. The council run a programme in the library, specifically currently, which is called Wiser for IT. And basically what that is a 5-week course, and it's predominantly age 50s and over, on how to use IT, which is
Yeah, that's John Fox.
11 weeks, then we get into the internet, email, word processing, where we build on word processing on the first week. If you, or any of your neighbours that you know, want a bit more help on using IT, please go and see the library staff and just tell us you want to do the Wiser for IT programme. They'll take you details.
Yeah, I've done it
The
twice.
lady from Thurrock Council that runs it, she will then contact you. You'll then come along and you'll say no.
What day is it, John?
Thursday mornings, 10:30 till 12:30.
Okay.
Peter,
There you go.
Just like the, what you said, I've just done it, and I learned a lot, there's a very,
Yeah, councillor Bird. Go on, Peter.
just a couple of bits. A bit disappointed last week, the post office opened. And who was standing in front of it for a picture with our MP? We've done sweet nothing to get that back. There's a load of people in there that thought and done a lot for it, didn't even get the show, didn't even get mentioned.
Yeah.
But he was there, beautifully, totally sure.
Well said.
Sorry? Also, I'd just like to say to you, you would be proud about it, we have opened up a new membership in Davy Down, and Neil was there last week.
Davy Down's over in Mardyke way, isn't it?
Yeah, Mardyke. Yeah.
We used that money for the park, that's in the story, and we went out over Davy Down on the Thursday morning at the moment, from 9 till, 9:30 till 3, and it's older generation, keeping them off the streets, so there's no hooliganism with them.
Keeping off their streets.
Anybody's welcome, anybody's welcome to come along, sign up and join, we're just getting going. Also, if anybody's got any property tools or decent amounts of wood that they can get rid of, it's a shout and we
Well, it's a good course. Well done. Great stuff.
I'm sorry, can I just say, if they want to know a bit more about it, it's the old pump house,
Yeah.
The old pump house, yeah, I know it.
And it's on the previous CS's website.
Yeah, I know the old pump house.
Neil, did you want to add something?
Just one event, I mentioned to before, I think it was at the last meeting, about the funeral of Jimmy Murphy. I don't know if you know the gentleman who died on Christmas Eve in the town. We managed to avoid a meeting with people, put some money together. Any contributions are still welcome. At the moment, sales market skyrocket, but we're nearing there. And the funeral is it's been a real community effort. And thanks to Reverend Tom Round of St Margaret's, particularly thanks to David Cotton, the undertakers on Andrews Hill, who have been unfair not to mention them, they've been phenomenal. The seafarers down Tilbury have been phenomenal. The Jewish funeral will take place next Monday, the 18th. A cortege will leave St Margaret's Church at probably around about 12:15. We'll go down the Church Lane, King Street, High Street, down Corringham Road. We'll go through to Giffard, come down Springhouse. We'll go through the town centre in Corringham, and we'll then go on to Pitsea for cremation, which is scheduled to take place at 1:30. It would be lovely if members of the community who happen to be about it maybe want to pop out and just acknowledge the fact that this community has come together to do something quite remarkable. I know that it's involved in the town of things, and so many people come together. Corringham Social Club have offered if you want to have a cup of tea afterwards or raise a glass to Jimmy, they're opening up, and everybody will be welcome there. It's probably around about 2 o'clock. It's been absolutely fabulous to see the Stanford and Corringham community come together to support this. And it was something that, you know, it could very easily have disappeared, dissipated, whatever. But people have shown in our area that we care. And I'm really proud to be someone who lives in the Stanford and Corringham community, because we do care. And so that's taking place next Monday. You get a chance to come and nod your head and see him go by the big Jimmy on the back of his thing. I think it's something really, really lovely. Everybody should be really, really.
How much are you short of money?
Oh, sorry.
I just found out who you are. Well, a round of applause for your touch. Anyway, thanks, very good meeting tonight. It went very well, and look forward to seeing you in April. As I said, and if you fancy having a go at the committee, if you could let Penny know, it would be appreciated. Thank you and good night.
Alright, see you later, guys.